I'm here to talk about Spider-Man, the only thing I know anything about. So I've pretty much read just about, I guess, every issue of Spider-Man, definitely every issue of any main title, some miniseries, and some limited series. I probably missed a couple issues. I know I haven't read everything. I know a little bit about Peter Parker. Sorry, Peter Parker. So, I wanted to today talk about the Steve Ditko era, which I have my old handy dandy omnibus, which is also a home protection system because if somebody walks in, you hit them with this, they'll never get back up. Look, if you've never read Stan Lee comics, they can be a little difficult, to be completely honest with you. I think that if you're older than, let's say, 40, you probably have no problem with them. Well, you might still have problems with them, but it's written a lot different. And for the past 25 years, comics haven't really been written in that style. And even for 20 years before that, it had started to evolve and change. So his issues come off a little verbose. They're not very swift and entertaining sometimes. What I do is I skip the captions. I don't read the captions because it's all information that I already know. I just read the dialogue. That helps it move by probably at like half the pace. And it'll still take you like 20 minutes instead of 10 to get through it. Now, they are very good issues for Stan Lee. Okay. Stan Lee's best work was between Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and probably Thor or Captain America, but it takes a certain mindset to read it. Now, there are a lot of classic stories in there that, if you can stomach the manner in which they were written, are very good. You get a lot of the classic villains introduced. Just gonna go through real quick a couple of the ones that I recognize on the back cover. You can see all of the issues. So on quick glance, what it looks like, there's Chameleon, Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Lizard, Living Brain. He's been in the comics recently. He hasn't been in a movie yet. Electro, the Enforcers, they were a big part of this. They were just a group of gangsters that got involved with the Big Man, I think is what he was called. Mysterio, Green Goblin, Kraven, Scorpion, Spider Slayer, Crime Master. Y'all love Crime Master. Molten Man. So yeah, quite a few of those characters have been in movies, and quite a few of those characters have also not been in a lot of stuff. Probably some cartoons, depends. Like the Enforcers, I can't imagine a lot of you have heard. But like on quick glance, it looks like I can think of at least like, I think they were in like 5 or 6 issues of this run. I could be off a little bit, but they're in probably more than Mysterio. Mysterio's in only 2 issues, and one of his issues he's barely in. The Steve Ditko art is really interesting. It's kind of, I don't mean this as an insult. I don't mean this as an insult, but it's like ugly, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's just everybody that Jack Kirby drew was like a glamorous supermodel, and Ditko drew people just a little more normal and hunched over and less so. So it is very good art. I would say this run is more worthwhile for the art rather than the writing. There are great stories. There's the Master Planner, a Dr. Octopus story where Spider-Man has to lift the water weight thing that's on him. And that's really good. But I think when I read it the first time when I was in high school, I definitely went in thinking it would be something different. I thought it was going to be more of a Dr. Octopus story, and it's not. He's not really in it that much. And then the issue where he lifts the thing is amazing and perfect and awesome. But it was not quite what I expected, I guess. And that's good. Now, you get the origin of a lot of the villains, which is good. But some of the other stories, I don't know how well they've aged for a modern audience. If you can put yourself in the mindset of the 1960s, that definitely helps. But if you're too disassociated from that time period, then I don't know if you'll enjoy some of it. It's definitely worth reading, but it's not something I would suggest for a beginner. We'll eventually get to something I suggest for a beginner. I think that what a beginner should do is read a couple probably more modern runs that are a little more like your language, and then this. Thankfully, I think with all the Spider-Man related movies, it's easy enough to kind of know what these characters' deals are. To some extent, I would only suggest the Steve Ditko era if you are a adamant about just reading the origins of characters, in which case it is a very good one, or B, you are hardcore enough to be like, I'm willing to try something that I might not enjoy every single panel, and sometimes be like, boy, this is so redundant. But definitely some of the best Stan Lee work of that era, and some really great art. So we'll come back, we'll keep talking. We'll just go to the next time we talk will be the Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. era. If I went for a high on this, I would say that the high is seeing the origin of a lot of characters and their creation. They have some pretty strong first appearances, and I think things like Green Goblin, you don't learn he's Norman Osborn yet until the next run. So that's kind of a cool ongoing plot. You've got that going for quite some time, which is nice. And if, like I said, the low would be the format, the verbose dialogue, and just feeling very dated in that sense. It kind of hurts the pacing, I guess. If you liked this, you want to support me, I wrote a comic book called Treasure of the Mystic Hearts. You can find the link in my bio, and that will get you where you can pre-order the 110-page graphic novel, which is going to be available in time for the holidays, we believe. You could also get a copy of the book March of the Mystics. Both of these are treasure hunting adventures filled with magic monsters, humor, and heart. They're great for kids. They're great for adults. Quick, easy read. They're fun. So check that out. Link in bio. Thanks.